Welcome to Ms. K's math class. In today's lesson, we will look at the order of operations. Some expressions contain more than one operation. In order to evaluate them correctly, we need to use the following rules. And here are the rules. We start with brackets first. Then we need to evaluate the exponents. Then we will solve divisions and multiplications. And then move on to addition and subtraction. So brackets are the parentheses and the brackets. If you find that the expression contains two or more sets of the brackets, one inside the other, like the example here, you see the brackets are outside and there is a parentheses inside, you go with the innermost one first. So here you'd have to evaluate what's in the parentheses 3 plus 5 first. So go with the innermost bracket. Then evaluate the outside bracket. Next, check for exponents. So in this example, we have the power of 2. So we need to evaluate that. Once you're done with that, check and see if you have any divisions or multiplications. Here I have multiplication. With questions that have both divisions and multiplication, you simply just have to start with the left and move on to the right. Then check for addition and subtractions. And once again, if you see that your expression contains both of them, you need to start from the left, performing all additions and subtractions towards the right. With the rules, we have B for brackets, E for exponents, D for divisions, M for multiplications, A for addition, and S for subtractions. So we can come up with an acronym, BEDMAS. And the word BEDMAS may help you to remember this order. Here we have a question, 3 plus 7 minus 5. Which part of an expression should we evaluate first? So let's recap. Order of operations says BEDMAS. So B-E-D-M-A-S. B for brackets. E for exponents. D for division. M for multiplication. A for addition. And S for subtraction. So following this order, we check. Now remember, if your expression has both the addition and the subtraction, simply go from left to right. And that's the same for an expression containing both the division and multiplication. You just need to go from left to right. So looking at the first question here, we have 3 plus 7 minus 5. We can see that this expression contains both the add and the subtract. So we simply need to go from left to right. So we're going to evaluate the first bit, which is 3 plus 7, and that equals to 10. Now that's done, and the minus 5 moves down. 10 minus 5 equals to 5. So in simplifying the first expression, the answer is 5. In our second question, we have 6 times 3 divided by 2. This expression contains both the multiplication and the division. Going back to our BEDMAS here, we see that D comes before the M. But remember that when you are evaluating and simplifying an expression containing both the division and multiplication, simply go from left to right. So here, we're going to go from left to right. 6 times 3 equals to 18. So that's done. Divide by 2 moves down. 18 divided by 2 equals to 9. Let's start by writing BEDMAS first. Bracket, exponent, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Keeping in mind that division and multiplication, we're going to go from left to right. And for addition and subtraction, we will also go from left to right. Here we have 23 minus 10 divided by 2. We don't have a bracket, we don't see an exponent, but we see a division. So it means division has to be done first. So we have to do this part, 10 divided by 2 first. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So that's done, so I cross it out. And then rewrite whatever's left over. So the 23 needs to move down, and the take sign needs to move down. 23 take away 5 equals to 18. In our next question, we have 3 times 8 minus 6 times 5. So the operations we see are multiplication signs and the division signs. So going through our BEDMAS once again, we see no bracket, no exponent, no division, but yes for multiplication, no for addition, and yes for subtraction. So we're going to solve and evaluate the multiplication bit first. Notice that there are 2 parts. So there is 1 here that we need to times, and we'll need to times the other bit right here on the right, and then we will need to subtract. So going with the first one, 3 times 8, it equals to 24. 6 times 5 needs to be done next because multiplication comes before the subtraction, and 6 times 5 equals to 30. Then the subtraction sign needs to move down. 24 minus 30 is going to give us a negative number, and the answer is 6. Let's solve some questions with parentheses and brackets now. So once again, I would always start by writing BEDMAS. And going back to the question, I see addition, I see multiplication, I see subtraction, and the parentheses, which is the B for brackets. So going with the brackets first, it means I have to simplify the bracket and get the answer first. And then I will need to then multiply because M comes before the A. And so addition would be the last thing I need to do. So let's do it step by step. So bracket, so I need to solve this part. What is 11 take away 7? It equals to 4. So now these guys are all gone. And the 3 needs to move down, the plus sign needs to move down, the times and the 2. Now, the timesing has to happen first before I add. So this one, 4 times 2 equals to 8. And the 3 plus needs to move down. And 3 plus 8 equals to 11. So this expression that we just simplified, the answer is 11. In our next question, we have 28 minus brackets 3 times 8 divided by 6. So going through BEDMAS, the first thing you're going to do is bracket. So we're going to simplify 3 times 8, followed by no exponents, but yes for division. So we're going to divide. And then lastly, we're going to subtract. So step by step, 3 times 8 equals to 24. And that's all done, so I cross it out. Then everything else needs to move down. So 28 minus, and the divide by 6. Now what do I do next? According to BEDMAS, division comes first. So I need to do 24 divided by 6. 24 divided by 6 equals to 4. So that's all gone. And the leftover 28 with the minus sign. Right here, 28 and the minus sign needs to move down. And 28 minus 4 equals to 24. Here we have 15 plus parentheses 9 minus 3, close parentheses, and to the power of 2. So according to BEDMAS, we need to get rid of the bracket or the parentheses first, followed by the power, the exponent, and we will need to do the rest. So step 1, we're going to evaluate the parentheses first. 9 minus 3 equals to 6. And now everything within the parentheses are gone. The power of 2 will need to move down, so that's where it is, 6 to the power of 2. And the rest of the expression, 15 plus, will move down. Now next we need to do our exponents. So 6 to the power of 2, or 6 squared means 6 times 6, and that equals to 36, so that's gone. And the 15 plus will move down. Now we're up to our addition. 15 plus 36 equals to 51. Here's our last question for today. In this expression, we see many different operations. We see a bracket, parentheses, plus, divide, subtract, and an exponent. When it comes to evaluating and simplifying questions with brackets, if it contains 2 or more sets of brackets, one inside the other, like the one shown here, we need to evaluate the innermost set first. So in this case, it would be the 9 divided by 3. Afterwards, we can evaluate the outer bracket. So step 1 is to evaluate the innermost bracket, which is 9 divided by 3. That equals to 3. So that's gone. And the rest of the expression needs to move down. So the 12 plus along with this outer bracket, and the minus 4 squared needs to move down. We still have the bracket, so we need to evaluate that, which is right here, 12 plus 3, and that equals to 15. So now that's all gone. And minus 4 squared. We see an exponent, so that's next right here. 4 squared is 4 times 4, so that equals to 16, so that's gone. And the 15 minus needs to move down. 15 minus 16 will give you a negative number, and the answer is -1. I hope you found today's lesson on the order of operations helpful. Like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.